My sister-in-law wants a perfect life, and she demands that we pay for it.
You have to pay.
My husband, Ray, 36 male, and I, 35 female, have been together since we were 17 and married for 7 years. We struggled for a while because we were long distance during our early 20s, but against all odds, we have made it work and have built a happy life together. By the way, this comes from Klopsimopsy, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Carly.
And I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we'd do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, I am a successful researcher, and my husband holds a job with a well-known NGO trying to find sustainable ways to build up developing countries' economies. We just bought my dream apartment in Manhattan and are very content where we are.
Manhattan.
Currently, we are childless, and it'll probably stay that way. My sister-in-law, Mary, 38 female, lives in Boston with her wife, Jess, 35 female. We all see each other pretty regularly since they often come to NYC to shows and whatnot. For the entirety of Ray's and my relationship, I always had the feeling Mary didn't like me much. She was always pretty rude to me, for example, slamming doors in my face, telling Ray she wanted to introduce him to her friends who thought he was hot, and making snide remarks about my culture and heritage. I'm German, they are Jewish. She isn't always rude. We've had fun together, just never one-on-one. Mary is a very competitive person, and I think she regrets some of the career choices she's made. I do know she hates how close I am with her and Ray's family. I also know that some of her family value my relationship more than hers because she's attracted to the same gender. I can't blame her for being upset about that. Recently, as my husband and I have really started making it in our careers, we have been able to live a very comfortable life. The apartment we just bought is big enough for us and 2 children if we decide to have them, but currently those rooms are a game room and a guest room. Aw. Having a game room would be awesome.
That's the dream.
Or like a Lego room.
I was going to say like a combined like office.
Just a dark
all of my
nerd room.
trinkets.
Yeah.
Games.
Since we bought this apartment, Mary and Jess have been visiting us more and more often. At first it was okay. We didn't mind having people in our house every now and then. But now they visit nearly every week. And they don't even bother to ask if they can stay at our house until they are already in the city. They don't spend any time visiting with us, and they are so messy, I can barely stand it. Wait, what? Wait, they're staying with you, but they're not actually hanging out with you?
Yeah.
Think dirty dishes everywhere, clothes thrown around the room, and not making the bed when they leave. Messed up. I once came home to find my kitchen in a horrific state when they made lasagna, ate it all, and then had to run out the door to catch their Broadway show. I mean, at that point, I'm like, hey, you can't stay here if you're going to treat my house like this. Sorry.
We gotta clean up after ourselves.
Yeah.
Even kids can do that.
Yeah. I'm not OCD.
I was going to say, Carly's interested in what Broadway show?
Yeah, I really did want to know that information.
Yeah, well, what Broadway show did you have to run out for?
Why are we rushing to get to our Broadway shows?
Should've
Plan
been-
these out, people.
Yeah.
You live in Manhattan.
But I work hard to keep things clean, and after a long day, I want to come home to my clean apartment. They once gave so little notice, it clashed with some friends staying with us, and we had to turn them away at the door. This was met with whining and a temper tantrum worthy of a 5-year-old from Mary, until Jess dragged her away. We have asked them to stop coming unannounced and to clean up, which resulted in them scheduling ahead for a while, and then just slipping into old patterns again. And again, I think we've talked about this before, when you set a boundary, you need to enforce it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise they're going to walk all over you and know that you won't do anything about it. So
it sounds like they're not always staying with them. They just visit and stay with them.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if they're just like, we're coming in to see a Broadway show tonight.
Probably. And then
we'll
they
be
make
in
a
your
mess.
house.
And I think
And they trash
that
it.
what I would do is you set the boundary. You say, hey, we need notice and you need to clean up. And if you don't do that, then you can't stay with us.
Yeah.
And then if they revert back to their old habits and don't give you notice and don't clean up, you say, sorry, can't stay with us. Turn away from at the door.
Yeah. 100%.
That's it. Since my husband and I have a bit of cash to spare, we recently decided to help my sister, 32 female, and her husband buy a house back in Germany. We lent them part of the money they needed for the down payment at a 0% interest rate, which they have 10 years' time to pay us back in small amounts. My sister has always been very responsible, and I have no doubt that we will see this money again. When Mary found out what we had done, she practically demanded that we help her and Jess out financially. They have always wanted children and tried with a baby juice donor, but have had no success the 3 times they've tried. They want to start doing IVF, but can barely afford it, so she wants us to pay for it. I was very taken aback by this demand, so was Ray, and we said we would think about it. We have talked about it since and are leaning towards saying no. We know how much they want a child, but we feel that IVF isn't the same as making an investment for a house. We also know they'll have difficulty paying us back, and we're scared if we say yes now, the demands will just continue. Mary and Ray were never close, even as children, whereas my sister and I have been very close ever since she was born. I know some of this stuff may sound petty, but both Ray and I really value our privacy, and we are a bit unsure how to proceed here. Mary and Ray's family have always handled Mary with kid gloves since their parents divorced. Ray describes her as wanting to have the perfect life and getting upset when she doesn't. And no one in her family wants to be the reason her life isn't perfect, and usually responds to her fits and demands with, that's just how she is, just give her what she wants and it'll be fine. I really don't just want to give in here, but I also really value the relationships I have built with Ray and Mary's family, and don't want to jeopardize those. My husband is pretty non-confrontational. He just shuts down at it. I guess I'm looking for a tactful way for both me and my husband to stop all of this. Any advice is welcome, and there are some comments, but what do you think?
Tell them no.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like we just need to flat out be like, hey, we helped you with the house.
Yeah, we helped you with
a
a lot of things.
already.
Haven't really seen that,
Yeah, this is something that we just
reciprocated?
don't think that we can do
Yeah.
for you. So sorry.
Yeah.
I really hope it works out for you, though.
I think you just, again, need to showcase that you can set boundaries with
Yeah.
your in-laws.
If you continue to not hold them, they're going to
Mhm.
continue to push and push and push.
Yeah.
And you'll keep caving.
Mm-hmm. I think setting the boundaries now will even maybe, not necessarily, but might improve the relationship.
Yeah, Nora
in
says
the long run.
saying no shouldn't jeopardize the relationship. Otherwise, there was expectations with the connection.
Exactly. They
Yeah.
wanted something out of you, and that's the only reason that they've been over. Comment 1 says, ultimately, you and Ray need to go low contact with her. Stop letting her stay with you ever. Because she, wife, have zero boundaries or respect, and nothing will ever be enough. It's absolutely outrageous that they expect you to pay for IVF. I'm afraid that won't be possible. We can't accommodate you. No. It is actually a complete sentence. But honestly, your husband has to be completely on board, and I'm getting the sense that he'll waver because family. But when family are a-holes, they don't get the same considerations. OP says, I always feel bad for them, though. I know they don't need my pity, but they are not at the point in life they thought they'd be. Mary is frustrated with her career, just didn't pass the exams to become a doctor yet. They don't have children yet. We can technically afford to help them out. It's just the way they basically demanded it. I'll speak to Ray about this. Comment 2 says, it seems to me that this is the typical situation of family members wanting more than they should get, just because they're family. They heard about your sister and automatically assume they should get some money as well. As others said, be correct, but keep it at a cordial no. You seem like responsible people. You know who is able to handle the money and to be trusted with it. And Mary broke your trust when it came to small things. Why trust her with big things like a heap of cash? Update. So last night, after I posted, Ray and I sat down and discussed what we wanted to do. I told him all about this post and stuff. Ray agreed with me on most of the stuff, although he didn't mind Mary and Jess coming over and being messy as much as I did. But he said that if I was really bothered by this was something we needed to address. On Tuesday, we are driving to a town in upstate New York to see Ray's family for Thanksgiving. Mary and Jess will be there too, and while we want to get this out of the way before the holidays, I don't think that'll be possible because we want to do it before the holidays, because we want to do it in person if at all possible. So we're thinking on Tuesday or Wednesday, we might sit Mary and Jess down and talk to them. This is what we thought we'd do. Ray will be the one doing most of the talking as it's his sister. He does have a big problem with confrontation, so we went over what we say and possible responses. He'd lead with asking them to please not come to our apartment unannounced anymore. He will be saying that these surprise visits are wearing us down, that we feel they don't respect our space because of the messes, the unannounced visits, etc. He'll say that if they show up at our house or call 30 minutes before they arrive, they won't be staying with us, period. And by the way, you can stay with us and listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime.
Period.
But
Yeah.
there is a little bit left to this story. Any final thoughts?
I feel like most of my thoughts stay the same. I think a conversation is really good to have. I did mix up, I think, when I was speaking earlier about who the house was for, but it still stands. Like, you still can't just expect that because
No.
someone else got that same thing.
Exactly.
And it's like,
who OP has a closer relationship
right.
to.
And you haven't been showing that you're reliable and trustworthy on her part. You gotta,
Yeah, you have to prove
Gotta
that, you
maintain
know,
that.
you're going to be responsible with that money.
yeah. So a
And pay it back.
conversation, a great step.
Yeah.
I want to know where in New York you're going.
Yes. And what Broadway show? Gotta finish the story. Secondly, he'll be saying that we were a bit offended that they would just demand for us to pay for their IVF treatment. He is simply going to say we can't afford that at this moment. If they whine, it's just gonna be, nope, over and over again. I would love your input on this matter. Should Ray talk to Mary one-on-one? Or should we talk all four of us? Should this wait until after Thanksgiving? Or should Ray talk to her on the phone today? Anyway, thanks for all possible input. And Common One says he's simply going to say we can't afford that at this moment. So giving them the hope that they will get a yes if they pester you in the future. Comment 2 says people who are reasonable can handle explanations. Jess and Mary have shown themselves to be unreasonable, so they don't get explanations. They just get told what you guys are doing, which is we're not paying you for IVF treatments and we're not hosting you without receiving notice of your visit X days before. You don't have to explain anything beyond that because they are unreasonable and will challenge and try to manipulate any further explanation. You're going to have to treat them like petulant children until they can show they can act like mature adults. And that is the end of that story, folks.
My mother-in-law said I ruined her joy because I won't let her hijack my pregnancy.
But I want to be involved.
No! Within reason. Things weren't always bad, but they did progressively get worse. It went from seeing my mother-in-law and double dating maybe once a month to once a week for a few hours together to several hours. By the way, this comes from user Chelsea Marie 789, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Sophia.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give you good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do. So if you would do something different, let us know in the comments. As OP says, at one point, my mother-in-law mentioned she wanted to do Disney for Christmas, and jokingly, we said yes, thinking she wouldn't follow through. We were wrong. The whole trip was chaos. She literally complained about anything and everything. She would complain we parked too far away, then complain we drove around too long looking for closer parking. After we came back from that vacation, we took a several-month hiatus and didn't talk to her other than the occasional call. Then, after over a year of trying, we found out I was pregnant.
Pregnant.
And things got progressively worse.
Oh, no.
You hate to see it.
They never found parking.
They never found that parking spot. From the moment we told my mother-in-law about my pregnancy, it became all about her. In fact, we told her last out of everyone because we knew how she would react. She always has a way of trying to pin my husband and me against each other. We also knew she would cause a huge scene when we did tell her, so of course we did it in a public restaurant. She freaked out and told every employee there about how she was going to be a grandma. Her questions and overbearing personality started right away. She invited herself over for breakfast one day. We suggested she pick up breakfast from a local restaurant and bring it, but she instead brought all the ingredients for my husband and me to make her Eggs Benedict from scratch. After breakfast, my husband and his stepdad went to the kitchen to do dishes, and she took her chance to start asking her questions. First, she asked who would be in the delivery room. I told her it would be my husband and my dad. My dad and I have a super close relationship. I never had a mom growing up, so our bond is unbreakable. He bought me my first deodorant, my first box of tampons, was there through a scare every step of the way, taught me basic car maintenance, and gave me my work ethic. Right away, she told me it was disgusting that I would want him there and that he shouldn't be because it's super inappropriate. Weird energy.
Yeah. Started off with that Eggs Benedict.
Yeah, come
Strange.
on. How are you going to say, I'm going to invite myself over for breakfast and you're cooking me Eggs Benedict? I bought the ingredients.
Yeah.
What?
You can't be doing that. If you're bringing the ingredients over, you got to make that food.
Second, she asked if we had names picked out. I told her middle names are passed down in my family, so yes, that's already decided. But my husband would be picking out the first name. My husband felt blindsided because she made such a big deal, asking how he would allow me to make such a critical decision without his say. And that's when you just go, well, she's my wife. She's my wife, Mom.
She's my wife. She's delivering in the delivery room.
That's my wife. It's actually, she's giving birth to the baby,
Yeah.
so she actually has a say in the name.
Yeah.
From the beginning, we told her we were going to wait to find out the gender until it was born. So, of course, you know what happens next. She wanted to give us a gift. It turns out right away she started buying little girl clothes and items, including dressing my potential son in a pink frilly dress with a matching headband.
And he'll kill that.
And
He'll
he
look
would.
so good.
He would slay.
He would slay that.
My husband said, "We told you we were waiting to find out the gender." She told us she was just excited and couldn't help herself, to which I responded, "I get you're excited, but you could at least respect our wishes and buy something neutral." As they were leaving, she tried to take our car seat meant for my husband's car, stating that she needed it more than him, that once we get released from the hospital, she needs the car seat so she can take the baby to her house so I can rest and recover.
You're crazy.
Yeah, that's...
You're crazy. I'm sorry.
That's not how that works.
What? No, OP's taking the baby home. And then if she needs a little rest and relaxation, her husband, the father of the baby, is going to be taking care of the baby.
Yeah.
That is his.
I'm all for being helpful as like the in-laws, but like just being like, I'm going to just take your baby to my house.
That's my baby.
It's like, no, you can help at their house.
Yeah.
Crazy thought.
Crazy thought.
So, yes, she said that she could take the baby to her house so I can rest and recover as I would have just given birth. After a swift no, goodbye, and a quick lock of the door, my husband and I both just looked at each other in disbelief. Fast forward a few weeks. She insisted on us going out to dinner, and we met her at Cactus Club. Right away, the first thing she tried to do as we were waiting for our table was lift up my shirt and pull down my high-rise leggings because she needed to see my bump? She always tries to mother me, which never sits well as I have a very bad history with my own mother, who was super harmful. My husband always asks her to respect the boundary, but she never does. I asked her what the heck she was doing and swatted her away for pulling my clothes off in public. Finally, we got a table and sat down. She asked us for an ultrasound photo. Unfortunately, all we had been given up to this point was a 5-week ultrasound of our little bean. So we told her sorry, no updated photos yet. She then went on to tell me how it was embarrassing how now, at 20 weeks, all she has is her 5-week ultrasound photo to show people, and that a 5-week photo is just a blob. I told her that was a little rude, as my husband and I had been trying for over a year to get pregnant, and for us, that 5-week ultrasound was everything. She then went on a tangent about how we got married in private with only our witnesses, and she doesn't have photos to post online to show her friends. We explained for the millionth time, we don't want photos online, which is why they weren't given out.
Yeah, she does not get it. She's like, but what about my Facebook followers? What about my loyal audience of 10 older women?
She just feels like the person who's like, it's so embarrassing that the things that I willingly post online, like, paint me as like a person you don't care about.
Yeah.
It's like, maybe just stop it.
Just stop it.
Stop posting online.
Yeah, easy peasy.
Unfortunately, due to my past with my own mother, there's a lot we keep private. She then promised she wouldn't post them, but she can't stop her husband from posting what he wants online. Fast forward a few more weeks to Christmas. At this point, my belly was just starting to show, and we also knew the gender, as the ultrasound tech had slipped up a few weeks earlier and told us. We got to the event, and one of the first things she did was cough in both of our faces and say, "Don't worry, I'm not contagious. It's just viral." Hey, goofball.
Do we know the definition of viral?
Did you know that a virus is contagious?
She's like, no, don't worry. The doctor said it was just viral.
Don't worry, I'm not contagious.
Don't worry, the doctor just said it was the plague. It's not contagious.
It's just pneumonia. My husband asked if she went to a doctor, and of course, she said no.
Oh my god, my pet peeve is when people are like, I'm not contagious anymore, but they're just assuming.
Yeah.
You know, when they're like coughing and they're like, no, it's been a couple days. I'm not contagious anymore.
Yeah, you mean...
How do you know that?
You mean Christian?
All of you. All of you do that.
I was not contagious.
I'm not contagious. How do you know?
When your symptoms resolve, you lose like 95% of your
5%.
contagiousness.
5%.
But it's funny because someone else got sick.
I honestly
So
don't think you
happens.
had what I had.
Yeah, I think I got whatever Christian had.
Yeah, because Christian was out much longer.
Mhm.
My husband took a breath and told her we found out we're having a boy. She's instantly disappointed, stating she already bought dolls, a dollhouse, and a little makeup table. I'm cranky at this point and say, we told you from the beginning we didn't want to know. After your last gift, we asked you to respect our wishes. You just keep crossing the line, don't you? She kept insisting we take selfies for Facebook. My husband and I both said we would rather not due to privacy, and she then got angry. He proceeded to say he doesn't want his photos out there either, and in the past he wouldn't have said anything, but finally he feels like he can say how he really feels, and she was not pleased. We left the venue to go to a pub for dinner. We got to the pub, and right away she didn't miss a beat, giving me a hard time about not wanting to lift my clothes up and show off my stomach. Eventually, she brought up the eventual labor and delivery situation, asking if we would allow visitors right away after the baby was born. She said she wanted to know as soon as we were going to the hospital so she could wait in the waiting room. We explained to her that we would not be having any visitors until we were at home and ready. We wanted time to bond and figure things out. She proceeded to tell me that I'm ruining her joy, and she's never been disrespected like this before. My husband chimed in, saying she's ruining the pregnancy for us, constantly judging everything and making me uncomfortable. Fast forward to our baby shower. The baby shower she was originally supposed to plan. However, after making rude comments about who we choose to invite, we decided to let my sister plan the party. My mother-in-law tried to take it over, wanting to play games to try to pin us against each other. The day after the shower, though, my sister reached out to me. My mother-in-law had emailed her asking her to tell her when we go to the hospital because she intends to be at the hospital even though we already told her we didn't want visitors there. The following day, my husband's aunt reached out to us saying that his mother had said the same to her, and I followed up with my husband's stepmom only to find out she tried to do the same to her as well. We told all of them what was going on and to please not tell her anything. Finally, enough is enough. I sent my mother-in-law an email. I said that it had come to my attention that although we told her no one would be welcome to visit at the hospital, and we would tell people when we were ready for visitors at home, we were aware she had tried to reach out to multiple people to get access to information. I explained that we would appreciate her respecting our wishes. I also added that the hospital is already aware not to confirm we are even there, or to let any visitors in. Showing up unannounced and unwelcomed will not be tolerated. I explained that she mentioned many times we're ruining her joy, but she has honestly ruined all of our joy with this pregnancy and made it all about her. That yes, this may be her first grandchild, but this is our first child, and we want to be able to experience it the way we want.
Just put her on a boat, man.
Put her on
Yeah,
that pregnancy boat.
She can go on one of those swan boats and view everything from far away.
That boat, cruise boat, Alaskan fishing boat. I don't care. She just needs to get on a boat.
Titanic.
Yeah, put her on Deadliest Catch.
Wait a second.
Have her
You
fishing
said
for
any
crabs.
boat.
I meant any boat alive today.
Well, you
R.I.P.
didn't
the
specify.
Titanic. I also mentioned that prior to the pregnancy, I was on an antidepressant and my doctor advised me to stop taking them for the sake of the pregnancy, and that now we were likely going to experience a bad case of postpartum depression.
Would not recommend.
Yeah.
Ooh, not good.
Would not recommend. Yeah. Preach,
Doesn't-
brother.
Doesn't sound fun.
We wanted time to make sure we're good. We wanted a stress-free environment. Of course, she lost her absolute mind. Started calling and emailing my husband nonstop about how we have ruined her life. She felt like her child had passed away. She was emailing me nonstop about how I'm a liar, ruined her son, and she would never forgive me. Finally, he had enough and blocked her. Isn't it crazy how she could have just
Yeah.
had all the access in the world to her grandchild?
Literally.
And instead, literally through her own actions.
Has lost contact with her son, too.
Because, dude, once you go off the rails and you come at my wife, like...
Yeah. It's over.
It's
over.
It's like, that's never, all right, well, that's the woman who I'm married to and I'm having a child with her and we're going to raise our child together. So for you to come at her so foul, we are no
Bye.
longer okay.
Yeah.
Things
You're
are
not
no
my
longer
mom.
chill. And they won't be until you take a lot of steps and a lot of time to make things right.
Take a lap.
So, OP continues. Things were good for a while, even with her leaving voicemails. However, recently she's been reaching out to our extended family members and friends from our baby shower again, trying to get information as the due date gets closer. Thankfully, all the people she's reached out to have told her the same thing, that she needs to respect our wishes and boundaries. Fast forward a few months, my father-in-law was staying with us to finish our kitchen renovation before our little man arrived. I was about a week and a half from my due date when I got super sick. I ended up in emergency for 2 bags of fluids and was sent home. My water broke in the middle of the night, and at 3 a.m. we were off to the hospital, leaving my father-in-law at home. Things quickly progressed. The baby was in distress, and they were calling a code blue. I called my dad, and he rushed to the hospital. Within 8 minutes of my bed being rolled out of the room, Our baby boy made his entrance on March 9th. He needed his lungs flushed and stomach pumped, but he turned out just fine.
Oh my gosh. A code below is an emergency code that indicates a patient is experiencing cardiac or respiratory arrest.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And this was for OP?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Hey,
Well, I'm glad you were able to get to the hospital.
Mhm. The body
pregnancy is scary
Yeah.
and hard.
the body police were trying to arrest her because she was going through cardiac arrest.
You got me. Okay, my dad didn't stay long. On the way out, he told me he had talked to the hospital staff and told them 0 visitors. Eventually, my father-in-law reached out and we told him a few hours later that the baby was born. We stayed in the hospital a few days before we were both released. The only people who knew about the baby once we got home were both our workplaces, my husband's aunt, and a few friends. We told my husband's mother the baby was born about 2 weeks later. She ended up coming for a visit and overstayed her welcome.
Of course she
again.
did. Of course she did.
The classic move.
She doesn't know any other moves.
She couldn't respect our wishes, kept trying to kiss the baby, wouldn't let us keep to our feeding schedule because she knew he wasn't hungry, and then told me it was uncomfortable for her when I was pumping in the living room of my own home, insisting I should go to the bedroom.
Well, then you leave.
Maybe you should just go home to your home.
Oh, you don't have to stay here.
Honestly, I would feel uncomfortable if someone was flexing. Like if I was a guest at someone's house, someone was just flexing all the time. I'd be like, could you not do that here?
My house.
It's my house, I'll flex what I want to.
I'll flex.
The next time we saw her was on Mother's Day at a restaurant for breakfast. It all went sort of well until she reminded us we were invited to a heart party, a party to celebrate the 10-year anniversary of her cardiac arrest. And oh, by the way, my husband's ex was invited and had said she was coming.
come
When asked
on.
why she invited said ex, her response was, "Oh, she was there when I had the episode. Without her, I would have passed away." This was news to me. My husband was upset and told her we wouldn't be coming as it was too uncomfortable. She started to cause a scene while holding the baby. I calmly got up, told my husband to get the baby back and to meet me when he was ready, then walked to the car. She was screaming across the restaurant as I walked away, yelling, "You always need to raise drama."
Oh.
If you're screaming while holding my baby, you're never holding my baby again.
Pot me kettle. You always cause drama. Let's look in a mirror, mother-in-law. We've got freaking Oscar winner mother-in-law over here.
This woman is driving me crazy.
Crazy.
My husband came out so upset. She apparently kept screaming in the restaurant and refused to give back the baby. A waitress had to step in.
Literally,
We're
you're
no
never-
contact
never-
now.
Like no contact.
Zero
you refuse
contact.
to give back my baby. You're never seeing them again.
Screaming while holding my baby. Get out of here. Get out of here. The next time we saw her was in June for my husband's birthday, again at another restaurant for dinner. She made a reservation for 4, forgetting we had a newborn in a car seat. Thank God he slept the entire time. Before we left for the restaurant, we fed the baby. He was still on a strict 3-hour schedule due to his weight loss during our traumatic birth experience. When we went to pull him out and feed him, my husband's mother proceeded to tell me that I'm a bad mom for waking him up. I tried to explain to her our rationale, although she didn't need an explanation. She went on a tangent about how I'm a horrible parent.
And you just say, shut up.
This
and you
is,
leave. Why are we like seeing her?
This is the epitome of a silly baby parent.
Yeah.
I was in tears at this point, and my husband was telling her off. She's going on about how rude I am. I got up and left the restaurant in tears. The waitress grabbed me at the front door to ask if I was okay and if I needed a ride. She was again screaming across the restaurant as I walked away, yelling, "You always need to cause drama everywhere you go."
I just don't understand how she could like do all that and just not compute that she's bringing so much attention to herself.
Delusion. I waited in the car for an hour before my husband came out with the baby. We didn't talk to her after that for quite some time. He blocked her number. Then, one day, my husband was acting weird. It took me 2 days of questioning him before he finally told me she had left a voicemail. She went on her normal rant. "This is not my son. He is passed away. He would never treat his mother like this. You are overreacting." When she stopped getting a response from him, she reached out to me, which was a first. She went on about how I'm a harmful wife for keeping my husband from his mother and that I'm keeping my child from having any sort of grandparents, calling me a terrible mother. I was so proud of myself. I calmly and diplomatically responded, explaining every single reason why we were where we were, including previous texts, emails, and messages where she had said these hurtful things. She went on about how I'm a liar and that all those emails and texts she sent were fake. I told her I, too, would be blocking her and no longer having a relationship with her, and that it was unlikely she would see my son again. All was great for about a month and a half, and then she randomly showed up at our house unannounced, banging on the door. My husband, in a sleep-deprived state, didn't recognize her new car and opened the door. She caused a scene in the driveway, and my husband told her to leave. She begged for him to keep in touch with her and to see the baby. He said no and went inside.
Yeah. Hold your boundaries. Hold them strong.
Absolutely. But I would never say no to you listening to full episodes with stories like this on your favorite podcast platform, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever it is. Just search OK Storytime, and you've got a bottomless treasure trove of delicious little drama-filled goodies to listen to.
Num, 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 num. So much drama.
And you eat them with your ears. We have a little bit more story left here, but I think no contact is all that you have.
I think you
been
have
left
to
with.
do it. Yeah, I think that she's proven that she literally cannot accept that she has done anything wrong. Refuses to even admit that she sent texts. Like, that's a step above unreasonable when you're literally saying the texts that you sent are fake.
Yeah.
It's like
You faked it. You're lying.
You're
all conspiring against me.
fake news. It's like you sent those texts. What
Yeah.
are you talking about?
I think all you can really do now is, well, you, OP, should probably have nothing to do with her. I think your
Yeah.
partner, seeing as it's his mother,
Even less.
can maybe just be like, hey, you're my mom. We can't maintain this, so I'm not really going to maintain contact with
Yeah.
you. But I hope that you can get your issues addressed, because
And then
clearly
come back.
you're suffering from something.
Absolutely.
Hopefully you can go to therapy and better yourself and come to an understanding that your behavior has been unacceptable, and then maybe we could take it from there.
Exactly.
But other than that, there's nothing we could do.
No,
At this
just
point,
about
it's like
protecting yourself and
it's
your kid.
and the kid, like it feels like you would
Who
be a
she
danger.
almost, yeah, I mean, like, she literally would not give your kid back to you. Like, that is
Yeah.
dangerous.
You standing there screaming with my kid in your arms, not giving him back. Nah, I just don't trust you anymore.
Nope, I didn't trust you from the parking job that you did a while ago.
Yeah, let's finish this story.
Let's do it.
Now we're in October. Our little man is 7 months old. My husband's aunt reached out to us the other day letting us know she has a lunch meeting with his mom this coming Saturday. His aunt asked if she could show his mom photos since she hasn't seen any since he was 3 months old. He said it was okay, although I don't agree with it. His aunt was always on the same page, saying we should create distance because of how she was acting, calling it harmful, and now she's saying he needs to keep in touch with her.
Nuh-uh.
There is a balance there of, like, the harder you try to shut her out, the more persistent and maybe aggressive about it she might be. So maybe the aunt showing her 7-month photos might actually kind of bring her temperature down a little bit. There is like a little bit
It's
of
tricky,
like
though, but you don't know how
arithmetic
she's gonna
there.
react.
Yeah. Now I'm worried his mom will show up after their lunch meeting since his aunt lives not very far from us. If she does, I fully intend to call the cops. All we wanted was for our personal space to be respected, our wishes to be respected, and to have a chance to experience the joys of our first pregnancy and starting our new chapter raising our child.
And there
And
you
that
go.
is the end of that story.